So we get to lane a little late, and I try and do the auto reset on Nami, but don't get the power cord off. And this is pretty awkward because now I have power cord up, so I can't really auto the minions because I would lose the power cord. So Ezreal basically has to try and push back himself. So we just get pushed in, and I take a lot of damage trading level 1. I feel like this is something that happens a lot for me is when I go up to Q, I just take a lot of damage in return. But we can sustain back up. Once you hit level 2, obviously you have your heal. I think a big part of why you take so much damage but can sustain back up is taking runic armor as opposed to veteran scars. So veteran scars give you 50 HP, which makes you harder to burst. And because you have runic armor, you are very easy to burst. Like here, um, I just go up for a trade and take like 50% of my health pretty much instantly. And that's partially because you don't have the bonus 50 HP from veteran scars. But what runic armor gives you is pretty good sustain. Um, I mean, it's more of a scaling mastery, but still, it does improve your sustain early, so you can heal back up. Um, yeah. Anyways, I think Nami is a pretty good matchup for Sona actually. They kind of do the same thing in lane. Normally, Nami is pretty much a lot better in lane than Sona against like other matchups, but in the Sona Nami matchup, I think it's pretty even in lane. Um, and they both sort of poke and sustain. And I think Sona outscales Nami by a lot because Sona just reliably contributes a lot more to fights than Nami does. Now, hopefully, you saw that kill coming because it's very important to know your damage output so you know like when you can go in for a kill or not. So after her first back, Nami starts roaming and she goes mid, and I don't counter this. Maybe I should have gone mid instead of bot. The lane's on their side, so Zaya can farm it pretty easily. I try and go up and deny her some CS because Nami's mid, but pretty much just get chunked for it. So they don't lose very much for having Nami roam, which is kind of unfortunate, for the team. They're basically playing 4v3 right now because Nami's helping and I'm not. Um, but we can't really punish very much either, 2v1 in lane. And Nami comes back to lane. I try and go for a trade because you want to trade about the same amount as your AD carry. And it looked like Ezreal was trading, but get completely smashed for it. So I was trading into a full minion wave. Also, Ezreal, even though we're kind of ahead, he only has a tier right now, so we don't really want all in. And I'm just super squishy and don't have flash. And Nami played it pretty well too, so I just die. So like in general, it's a good rule to trade about as much as your AD carry, especially on Sona because your W is going to heal both of you anyways, so you might as well spend the HP about equally so that you both get something out of the heal. But obviously it's not good if you kill yourself trading. But this kind of roam just to help Lee defend his red buff is good. Like that's fine, it's bot side, so it doesn't really take me very far out of the way. I can still get bot lane and um, it doesn't take very long, so it's all good. And remember that this is like a very laning focused setup with Q W Q W Q. You don't get a point in E, so it's harder to get around. You have no boots, so you're really slow for roaming. And I try and roam for a while and get basically nothing done. Um, like even if you get somewhere, what are you gonna do? Like E power chord them and like slow them a little, so you don't really have very effective roams. But leaving Ezreal alone bot ends up being really bad because Kassadin comes and they just 3v1 dive him. So there's not much you can do about this. And it's really bad because Ezreal loses the wave and they get first tower. So that puts us behind a lot. Um, pretty much all because I tried roaming instead of just sitting bot. And then after this, I wasn't sure, but I felt like with our comp, we should have LeBlanc and Talon side laning and Ezreal sitting mid, but we had LeBlanc mid the whole time. So I wasn't really sure where to go, or like where I should be. Plus, Nami has boots of mobility, and I have no boots of anything. So like they're just making a lot more plays happen mid game and just getting a lot farther ahead. So we're down like 5K gold, I think, after all this stuff happens. And so now we're behind so much that basically all we can do is try and just run around chasing kills and hopefully get some shutdowns. Because they're in a very threatening spot. When Baron spawns, they're just going to want to control the vision around Baron, and um, it's very dangerous for me to face check. It's a bit less for LeBlanc because she has Banshees and um, an escape, but for me to try and get vision of Baron with, we don't know where they could be, um, is pretty much like possible suicide. But yeah, so we're just gonna try and like chase kills. We still have Ezreal bot versus Kassadin, which I'm not sure if that's right or not. But um, as soon as we all go bot to try and chase the kills, they just go to Baron. I think it's probably right for us all to go bot because we can't really do anything about the Baron, so we might as well just try and get the shutdowns. Um, I mean, it's unfortunate we lose Baron, but I think this is like the only trade we really could make. So yeah, they just take Baron. But now I go from being pretty weak to pretty strong. Getting Sensor and I, just a big power spike. And so now they have Baron and Rift Herald and they're trying to push, but they kind of throw overextending, like their front line dives in but can't get any kills, and Talon kills the Xayah in their back line. And this is a really big throw for them because they were pretty ahead and um, they threw a lot. I actually died here, but even though I died here, it's still really good for us because um, we just get back in the game off of this, and um, they lose all their momentum. They lose Baron, and we get even more gold. And so now I'm pretty strong. I just want to group. Having E and the Cloud Drake is pretty nice for safety here, because like sweeping that is dangerous with Elise there, but I have enough move speed to be safe. Also, I was considering like ulting here, but I mean it seemed like she could just repel up. But yeah, so we want to group because I can just spam W now with like a tier, and I think we're stronger 5v5 at this point. So we're going kind of aggressive. And then we go up. I think Zai gets like a root on us, and they try and go aggressive. Um, but again, at this point, I feel really strong 5v5. So I go in for an initiation, and after that, just stay alive, and we win the fight really easily. We have another troll death at the end, but just like my death in the Tyrannectin last fight. But again, it's really good for us. And at this point, we basically just should win. Just a small thing for like tanking the tower here. I'm always gonna W like shield heal myself, and I have red buff for heal, so I can tank. And then you want to use the Q like auto reset and like hit the Q power chord on towers just to push faster. Yeah, so we all back and Baron spawning, and this is sort of their time to like counterattack because we're all back in base. We have to go and buy items and heal and stuff, and so they can try and rush Baron, and also LeBlanc and Talon goes bot, and LeBlanc stays to push in another minion wave, which is kind of good because either they catch the wave so they can't Baron, or if they try and Baron, they'll miss the wave. Um, but I mean, I don't know if it's worth it because they just say fucking do Baron. But we fight it, and I don't get a particularly good ult off, but like it really doesn't matter as long as I stay alive. We win this fight really easily. The main thing is just like not dying, and I should have started chasing earlier, but I stayed in the pit for a while, which is the first mistake. And the second mistake is Sona's heal has a much larger range than her shield on W. So I heal Ezreal here, but don't quite get in range to shield him before switching to the Q aura to kill Elise. And Ezreal never gets the W shield, so he ends up dying. So I should have gotten in range for the W shield before switching to Q. But yeah, this point is pretty much over. What ends up happening is a few people on their team just get caught and die. But I'm pretty sure at this point I had a lot of items, so we could have just grouped up and won really easily, no matter what they did.